Andrew Peter Napolitano, widely known as Judge Napolitano, is a retired jurist and legal analyst who became a recognizable face on American television for his unique libertarian perspective. Napolitano began his career as a lawyer and quickly made a name for himself in the legal world, eventually serving as the youngest judge on the New Jersey Superior Court from 1987 to 1995. During his time as a judge, he presided over more than 160 jury trials, which gave him a deep understanding of criminal law, courtroom procedures, and constitutional issues. This extensive legal experience later became the foundation for his career in media, as viewers appreciated his ability to explain complex legal matters in simple, understandable terms. After leaving the bench, Napolitano transitioned into media, starting with newspaper columns and guest appearances on television. Over time, he became a familiar and trusted voice on Fox News, where he spent 24 years analyzing legal matters, presidential actions, and major political events. His presence on Fox News was notable not only for the frequency of his appearances, but also for the depth of his insight. Napolitano's approach combined a strong understanding of law with a commitment to libertarian principles, which meant he often questioned government overreach, criticized both Democratic and Republican presidents when necessary, and defended the importance of individual liberties. Over the years, he appeared on numerous shows, including popular programs like Fox and Friends, where he provided commentary on court cases, Supreme Court decisions, and controversial political events. His reputation as a knowledgeable and outspoken analyst grew to the point where his name became synonymous with Fox News legal commentary. By the time his departure from the network was being discussed publicly, Napolitano had appeared on television thousands of times, earning respect from viewers who valued his expertise and his willingness to speak freely. His influence extended beyond television as well, as he became a source for commentary in newspapers, podcasts, and interviews, often weighing in on high-profile legal matters and constitutional issues. This long and accomplished career positioned Napolitano as one of the most respected legal analysts in media, making his eventual exit from Fox News both surprising and widely discussed. For many, it raised questions about what happens when a prominent legal voice clashes with the demands and policies of a major news network, and it set the stage for a story that involves internal politics, public controversies, and legal challenges that would define his relationship with the network in the final years of his tenure, despite his long-standing success at Fox News. Napolitano's final years with the network were marred by a series of allegations and controversies that eventually led to his exit. In 2021, Napolitano faced a serious complaint filed by a Fox News associate, John Fawcett, who alleged inappropriate behavior during their interactions at the network. According to the complaint, Napolitano made suggestive comments and touched Fawcett's arm, an incident Fawcett initially did not report due to fear of professional repercussions. While Fawcett claimed that other staff members had previously witnessed similar behavior, the network took swift action upon learning of the complaint, investigating the matter and addressing it with both parties. Fox News stated publicly that it treated the allegations seriously and acted in accordance with its policies, reflecting a commitment to workplace safety and compliance. The situation was complicated by the fact that Fawcett also raised additional claims against other Fox News staff, including associates and senior producers, alleging instances of discrimination, inappropriate comments, and blocking guests from appearing on shows based on race or gender. These overlapping allegations created a tense atmosphere within the network and placed Napolitano in a precarious position, despite his long history of credibility and professionalism. As the story unfolded in public media, Napolitano consistently denied any wrongdoing, with his attorney providing statements to clarify that the allegations were false and that Napolitano had always conducted himself appropriately. The legal framework surrounding these complaints emphasized the importance of distinguishing between claims and confirmed misconduct, a nuance that became central to discussions about his career. Furthermore, prior incidents added layers of complexity to the situation. In previous years, Napolitano had been involved in other legal disputes and controversies, including a high-profile lawsuit filed by a South Carolina man alleging historical misconduct during Napolitano's judicial tenure in the 1980s. Although the claims were later contested and legally dismissed, They contributed to a narrative of heightened scrutiny around Napolitano, intensifying media coverage and public debate. The combination of new allegations, ongoing legal attention, and Fox News' internal policies, particularly its post-O'Reilly zero-tolerance approach to misconduct, created an environment in which the network felt compelled to separate from Napolitano to maintain its workplace standards and public image. These developments illustrate the challenging balance between professional legacy, public perception, and organizational policy, showing that even a well-established media figure can face consequences when multiple controversies intersect. As a result, Napolitano's departure was not a simple or singular event, but rather the culmination of legal, ethical, and organizational factors that converged over time, shaping both his personal and professional trajectory. This period also underscored how media organizations manage reputational risk, highlighting the tension between retaining talent with substantial expertise and protecting a safe and compliant workplace environment. While legal allegations played a major role in Napolitano's exit from Fox News, his career was also shaped by controversies surrounding his political commentary. One of the most notable incidents occurred in March 2017, when Napolitano made a claim that immediately sparked international attention and tension. During an appearance on Fox and Friends, he stated that former President Barack Obama had used the United Kingdom's intelligence agency, GCHQ, to surveil then-President Donald Trump during the 2016 election. Napolitano explained that Obama had avoided leaving American footprints by using this outside chain of command rather than relying on U.S. agencies like the FBI, CIA, or NSA. This claim, though framed as legal analysis, quickly drew public attention because it implicated not only political leaders but also foreign intelligence partners. The statement rapidly reached the White House, where Press Secretary Sean Spicer cited Napolitano's claims to justify President Trump's earlier tweets alleging wiretapping by Obama. The situation created significant diplomatic friction with the UK, which publicly called the claims nonsense and utterly ridiculous. Within Fox News, the network faced a difficult situation. On one hand, Napolitano was a highly respected legal analyst with decades of experience. On the other, the accuracy and verification of his sources came into question, and the potential consequences of spreading unverified information were substantial. As a result, Fox News temporarily suspended Napolitano for almost 2 weeks, a decision that allowed tensions to subside and served as a reminder of the network's editorial standards. Although he returned to the air after this brief suspension, the incident marked a turning point in his relationship with Fox News management. The network's oversight of his reporting became stricter, and his commentary was now monitored more closely, signaling a shift from trust-based autonomy to controlled scrutiny. From that point on, Napolitano was no longer just a regular legal analyst. He had become a controversial figure whose statements could trigger significant media, political, and diplomatic repercussions. This episode demonstrated the delicate balance between journalistic freedom and responsibility, especially for media personalities who are both legal experts and public commentators. While Napolitano maintained his libertarian principles and continued to critique government overreach, his outspoken nature increasingly put him at odds with the constraints of a major cable news network. The combination of prior legal allegations, internal complaints, and controversial political statements created a situation in which Fox News may have felt that maintaining his presence on air carried more risk than benefit. At the same time, the controversy highlighted Napolitano's willingness to challenge authority and provide his own analysis, regardless of potential backlash. For viewers, this incident offered a glimpse of the challenges faced by media figures who navigate both public opinion and internal editorial rules. Napolitano's handling of the situation, including his insistence on presenting his perspective and defending his analysis, reinforced his public persona as a principled but polarizing legal expert. The episode also illustrated how high-profile media figures can become entangled in political disputes beyond their control, particularly when their statements are interpreted as support for or criticism of powerful figures. In retrospect, this controversy foreshadowed the combination of factors, legal challenges, internal complaints, and editorial conflicts that would eventually lead to Napolitano's departure from Fox News. It also set the stage for his subsequent career shift toward independent platforms, where he would regain full control over his voice and commentary. For Napolitano, the suspension served as both a warning and a turning point, shaping his decisions about media engagement, audience interaction, and the best way to continue his legal analysis without the limitations of network oversight. After his turbulent final years at Fox News, Andrew Napolitano took a bold step that would redefine his career and establish him as an independent voice in the media world. In July 2022, he launched his own YouTube channel, Judging Freedom, signaling a major shift from being part of a traditional cable news network to becoming a self-directed media personality. This move was not merely a career adjustment. It represented a fundamental change in how Napolitano could communicate with audiences, free from the editorial restrictions, scheduling pressures, and corporate oversight that he had experienced at Fox News. The launch of Judging Freedom was met with significant interest. On his very first video, Napolitano drew hundreds of thousands of views, demonstrating that his reputation and loyal audience had followed him from television to digital platforms. By January 2026, his channel had grown to over 667,000 subscribers, with daily streams that consistently engaged a wide audience. The appeal of his channel lies not only in his extensive legal background but also in the clarity and accessibility of his commentary. Unlike traditional cable programming, which often intersperses news segments with advertisements, graphics, and other interruptions, Napolitano's YouTube format allows for long-form analysis, unscripted discussion, and real-time engagement with viewers. This autonomy has given him the freedom to explore topics in depth, ranging from constitutional interpretation, presidential powers, surveillance practices, and First Amendment concerns to broader questions about government overreach and individual liberties. The channel's content reflects Napolitano's long-standing libertarian philosophy, emphasizing the importance of limiting state authority, protecting individual freedoms, and critically examining both major political parties. Importantly, the shift to digital media has also allowed Napolitano to reach audiences who might not watch traditional cable news, including younger viewers and those seeking independent commentary outside mainstream channels. The interactive nature of YouTube, through comments, live chats, and subscriber feedback, has further enhanced his connection with his audience, fostering a sense of community around legal and political discussions. In many ways, Napolitano's move mirrors broader trends in media, where established figures leverage digital platforms to maintain relevance, build personal brands, and bypass the constraints of traditional news networks. While his departure from Fox News was sudden and controversial, it inadvertently gave him the opportunity to cultivate a direct relationship with viewers, control the messaging of his analysis, and shape his own professional narrative without interference. Over time, Judging Freedom has become a platform not only for legal commentary but also for civil discourse, allowing Napolitano to address current events, historical legal precedents, and government policies with nuance and authority. His independence has also highlighted the growing importance of alternative media spaces in shaping public understanding of law, politics, and policy. Where traditional networks may impose editorial limits or require cautious reporting, independent platforms like Napolitano's enable more candid discussion, which can both empower audiences and provoke critical thinking. Furthermore, his success demonstrates that professional credibility, experience, and a clearly defined personal brand can translate effectively into new media formats. Napolitano's case is particularly instructive because it shows how a prominent figure can recover from public controversies and network disputes to maintain influence, authority, and audience engagement. While some critics might view the transition as a fallback from mainstream media, the viewership numbers, engagement rates, and loyal fan base suggest that Napolitano's move to YouTube was both strategic and successful. Ultimately, the channel has given him autonomy, creative freedom, and a platform to continue advocating for his principles without fear of censorship, internal politics, or editorial intervention. For Napolitano, the transition was not just a career shift. It was a chance to redefine his legacy, continue contributing to public discourse, and remain a respected voice in legal and political commentary, illustrating that setbacks in traditional media can sometimes open doors to new, more empowering opportunities. Andrew Napolitano's transition to YouTube not only gave him editorial freedom, but also allowed him to express his political views with the clarity and candor that had occasionally caused friction during his tenure at Fox News. Known for his strong libertarian principles, Napolitano has consistently emphasized that individual freedom is paramount and that government should always be held accountable for overreach. This perspective has shaped much of his commentary on American politics, particularly regarding executive power, military spending, and the conduct of presidents. A significant aspect of his political commentary has involved critiques of Donald Trump, which, while sometimes controversial, reflect Napolitano's commitment to legal and constitutional principles rather than partisan loyalty. Napolitano has openly criticized Trump for actions he perceives as unconstitutional, including overreach in executive powers, use of masked law enforcement in domestic operations, deportations without due process, and foreign military engagements. He has also questioned Trump's interpretation of constitutional amendments, particularly the 14th Amendment, and has highlighted legal arguments supporting both of Trump's impeachments. Napolitano's approach demonstrates that his criticisms are rooted in legal reasoning and principles of liberty, rather than personal or partisan motivations. Beyond Trump, Napolitano's commentary addresses broader concerns about the size and scope of the U.S. government, fiscal responsibility, and the maintenance of civil liberties. He has repeatedly expressed concern over the expenditure of trillions of dollars to maintain hundreds of foreign military